Hope everyone's doing well. A little bit of a midweek, end of the week update. Just a couple things on the agenda. I hope you guys are having a good start to the new year here. I am I'm going to do a little bit of an analysis on SPY and start by just doing a review of where we were a year ago and taking a look at the forecast from the video I put out almost a year ago to this day. And then we're going to take a couple members' requests, XRP and then EOSE, and then we're going to call it a day. Um, Thanks for the support. We got a lot more on the weekend agenda for the members, as well as a general market update for the subscribers. So when I did this video, we were at 47.69 on S&P. You see this 5 up here. This was projected around 58, 6,500, between 5,800 and 6,800. We got to a little bit over 6,000. And so let's kind of go back to what this looks like on the pairs MicroStrategy. Pause that and pull up TradingView. And I like SPY here because I've got my counts on SPY and I want to spend a little bit of time kind of elaborating. Uh, uh, Generally speaking, where I think we are pretty close to that forecast. Pretty close to that forecast. On SPY, we got up to just shy of 610. And my larger wave count is looking very, from an Elliott wave standpoint, is looking just very beautiful. I'm seeing a lot of similarities in lengths, in terms of corrections, duration in terms of time. Obviously, this is a magnificent uptrend. And I think what's coming next is just continuation in the form of, I don't see any signs of this thing slowing down. I really don't. If we go back to December of last year, right around where I posted that video, this is where we were. And if you look at these, it's hard to see these counts. I posted this on my X, this chart today, for any of you that are on my X. At any one of these C waves or, 4 ABC downs, right, or 2s or 4s or C's and 4s or, C2, C here. I think we're in a C making a minor 4 here. These were all massive inflection points in the market to the tune of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 plus 3, 4, 5% corrections that yielded more upside that followed them. And so until this pattern changes, there's the assumption should just be the continuation. And the bulls are in firm control here. And we have a lot of symmetry within these waves, right? And so even if I go back to, our larger degree corrections back from August 2023 is really when I started doing these videos. I mean, that was a big one into October, 10%. That was the larger degree 1, 2, the larger degree 3, 4 from July this summer into August. That was 8 plus 9%. These smaller ones, which is I think where we are right now, the smaller degree corrections, most recently, we had 4+% there. We're working on right now, 4%. Very symmetrical from a wave time, length, duration, corrective percentages. And so the question ultimately remains, I think most of people's minds, like, well, where are we going in the interim? And I don't know. Yeah, and I'm not a financial advisor, and you all know that. Doing these for education, do your own research as always. But I just see this. We see a lot of these corrective structures, right, where you got to change a character, ABC, and then break a structure, ABC, and these, you'd think the C would need to go down further, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. The length of this C wave is pretty proportionate right now to the length of the A wave. As I've kind of got it drawn here, let me make that a little bit bigger. So, I mean, we're close. I believe we're close to an inflection point. And if this is a kind of a minor four, then we have a potential very powerful leg in front of us. And I've been saying that, I know, with IWM. I've been saying that with Bitcoin. Uh, but again, where was Bitcoin to start the year? Where was Bitcoin to start the year? Let's take a look at it. Got my daily chart here. I mean, it's been a great year, right, folks? It's been a great year. So when I did that video on SPY, Bitcoin was at 42,000. And so here we are at 96,000. And I think a lot of these things, there's the liquidity kind of all moves together with very little variability along the way. And so if I think about this structure here aligns with where my counts are with Bitcoin as well. And I'll get more into that this weekend. But for now, the question ultimately is if we get this next powerful move, how are risk assets going to perform? And they should perform really, really well. And so ultimately, whether we get another stab down to C to finish this out over the next week or two, I don't know. We're going to find out. Could the bottom be in here? Sure. You got a little double bottom, sweep the lows, reclaim, maybe it's coming back up. But that's the path. The next major move is this path that I'm seeing here. Timing is always the most difficult, but even just looking at, what was our last move, 12, 13%. Similar move would get to these targets here, right? Very similar move would get to these targets. A SPY is 660, wouldn't surprise me. 650 to 670 into the first quarter, second quarter of this year. So, folks, markets are looking fantastic. XRP. This is an interesting one. So I've got XRP chart up, and I put it up in candle just because this is where all the fibs are originate from, or from the candles. Now I'm going to take the candles off because it's easier to see, I think, with this chart. And you'll notice something with XRP that's very interesting, right? Where you had a previous all-time high in a consolidation structure, okay? Originated a previous all-time high here. It broke out of the consolidation structure, went to the previous all-time high, it retraced the set to the 786 retracement, and then where did it go next? The 1618, okay? Now let me get rid of that, and let's look at where we are now. Zoom in on XRP. Again, I don't have any idea what XRP does. This is just all speculative, but there's no denying at certain times in markets that things can outperform to a dramatic tune. And that may be what's going on here with XRP. Similar structure, consolidative structure, right? Just massive consolidative structure. This is a consolidative structure that took 5 years, 4 years to consolidate into, broke out of it to previous all-time high, and now the 786 is 160, couldn't even get down there. Could it get down there? Could it get lower? Sure. But what I like about this name in terms of just the symmetry is what it's doing. Let me zoom in a little bit on lower time frames. I posted this chart in my subs as well a few times because of its strength. And what do I mean? What do I mean by its strength? Well, look at what it's doing here. Look at what it's doing off of its this all-time high area. Let me get rid of this fib. So I got too many fibs up right now. Look at what it's doing. This is a bullish consolidation after what I'm calling a 1, 2, 3, 4. Is 4 complete? I don't know. But it's consolidating here. It's consolidating at the 786 retracement of the origin of this impulse, this fresh impulse, this third, okay? So that's where it's consolidating. It hit the 786 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times, and buyers step in. Buyers have stepped in there. And so if and when this resolves, my expectation is that it would resolve to the upside. And a very conservative target for resolution here, much like I just shared on the previous chart, is the 1618. That's a really conservative to the, what is that? 883. And not surprising, let's take a look at the energy that kind of went into this. Coming out of it would exceed it. Would exceed it to the tune of 1112. An aggressive target there would get you to the 2, upwards of 15. And so this is bullish to me. There's no other way to look at it. You have to look at these things for what they are, and that's what I believe is what I'm looking at is a bullish structure. So that's XRP. EOSE. This is a really interesting name as well. I don't know anything about this company. I don't. Again, this is a request from one of the members. This is a weekly chart, and what do we see? We see an accumulation pattern, a very clear accumulation pattern that began January 2022. Preliminary support. You get selling climax, secondary test in phase B. And you get this kind of automatic reaction and rally, and then we're creak, drop out of the bottom. This is manipulation. Spring, this thing is going to drop even lower. It reclaims the 30 and doesn't even test the bottom end of this range. It's gone. LPS back up, and now it's an expansion. So this is a stage 2 uptrend by definition. Stage 2 uptrend. RSI on the weekly is as high as it's ever been. And so that might be just a word of a caution in terms of the short term. But what I would be looking for, again, if I'm just forgetting Elliott waves, I don't have time to do counts on all these things, but just energy express coming into that first consolidation, energy coming out of it, I wouldn't be surprised at a short-term target of 7, 8, something like that. But this is a major move here in a very short amount of time. Since November, end of November, that's a 156% move. At some point, that needs to get digested. When and where that gets digested, I have no idea. I would be expecting some type of consolidation in the form of whatever vertical accumulation you can see. Let's say it gets up here, flagging back into this, right? Something like that, where then the 30-week catches up a little bit, and maybe it doesn't even get near it and continues to go. And then the next area of what happens is this 12 to 13 to 14, at which you want to see power and then resumption of trend. And so what you don't want to see is failure here. You don't want to see, this is 2 weeks so far above it. This was a swing failure. This was then a test, right? Boom, fail. You don't want to see some type of deviation back into this range. That would not look good. But again, that's my opinion. I could be wrong there. But the important thing with this chart is stage 2 uptrend. And so I hope that helps. Folks, thanks for all your support. Continue to share these, like them, do all that good stuff so we can reach more people. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your evening. Take care.